In this video, I'm going to tell you about the importance of being able to move freely in the water. You're going to learn about why and how to move in water confidently and freely, so that when you begin to learn to swim, freestyle or any other swimming stroke, you are comfortable and confident about your own ability. Because swimming is not just about getting from A to B, but rather being able to turn around, change direction, stop and start repeatedly, and be generally able to move and interact with the real world when you are in the open water or even in a swimming pool full of other people. As an example, we are going to show you Peter, who is 42 and learning to swim from scratch, which you might have seen in the previous videos. When I first started working with Peter, he wasn't able to do anything in the water, not even being able to lay down and then stand up, which we had to work on the first session that we spent in the water. On the first session, Peter had no experience in the water whatsoever, and we had to start at the very beginning. From entering the water safely to being able to walk around in it, dip his body in the water up to his neck, and then his face in the water, including the breathing exercises. We performed some of the breathing exercises to get him accustomed to having face in the water and being able to bring himself calm in order to comfortably move his body in and around water. At the beginning, our goal wasn't really to teach him to swim, but rather become comfortable in this environment. And you can't get comfortable in this environment if you're struggling for your next breath and if you feel nervous just by the simple fact of being in the water. So my goal at this stage was to get him comfortable, relaxed, and free to roam around the swimming pool with the safe depth, of course, which was up to his chest. To move freely in the swimming pool, you have to be relaxed, but you also have to be able to feel the buoyancy of your own body as soon as possible. So we only spent just a little bit of time with flotation aids like in the picture. As soon as he got a little bit more accustomed to the water, we dropped the flotation aids immediately and we started working on being able to roam freely in the water and experiencing what it's like to actually feel relaxed. When you inhale using your mouth and exhale through your nose, and you do it slowly, you develop a very natural rhythm similar to meditation, therefore calming yourself down and bringing that heart rate down too, which makes you more relaxed in return and helps enjoy the experience in the water more, even for someone who is inexperienced and scared, nervous, and not really happy to be there. But after a few minutes of freedom that this exercise allowed to Peter, he was able to move his hands freely in the water and feel it a little bit more, which gave him more empowerment. And as you can see here, he was smiling like a child when he finally found out that actually, despite his limiting beliefs, finally be able to be in the water and roam freely and unlock those thoughts that were stopping him from learning. From that point forward, we were able to start practicing streamline. So he would get his arms in front of him and start kicking. First using his flutter kick and then doing the breaststroke kick. Some swimming teachers give a kickboard to practice with, and in my opinion, that is absolutely unnecessary. Rather than using a kickboard and struggling for a long time getting all the way to the swimming pool, I prefer to use what Peter called the bus stop technique, where I get him to streamline for about 5 meters or less till he needs the next breath, stop, get that breath, and then follow again until the end of the swimming pool. In that way, he still achieves the goal that he wanted, which is get to the end of the swimming pool, but also he's able to get accustomed to how the breathing rhythm works for him. Then I got him to try the breaststroke pool, which not only helps you to propel yourself forward, but also can be used to rotate yourself or move around in the swimming pool when you don't want to go forward, but rather turn or stop or do anything else. Especially if you bump into other people, you need to suddenly change direction or move around, you get a cramp maybe, and you only can use your one arm. That's when you want to use your arms on their own. And if you tell me about the fact that he's not kicking, that's the whole point. I wanted to separate the kicking and the pulling into two segments, because what I found is that doing both together was too much for him too early. So we started off by separating these two and get him to get accustomed to each on its own. So when he was ready, I wanted him to practice holding his breath and releasing that air through the nose a little bit slower, more gradually, so he can actually stay with his face in the water for longer. We're talking 10 to 20 seconds. And because of that, that would give him enough time to maneuver in the water and explore what's under the surface. One thing he told me about is the fact that he really like being underwater and just observing what's going on, because it's really the first time where you are in this environment, and it's kind of surprising for many people what it's like to be underwater. So I got him to hold his breath for longer and then release the air slower. And then just as he's lifting his head up above the surface, expel this leftover air from his lungs to get a new breath and continue the pattern. That allowed him to practice floating and being able to use his arm, one or another, to spin and change direction and turn. And I didn't want to give him a specific instructions. I wanted to give him some freedom so he can experience and feel the water by himself, because water is much more resistant than air, and you can use it to move around in it. For example, when you want to move forward in the water, you have to push the water back behind you. That's simple physics. If you want to move back, you're gonna have to push the water in front of you. Okay, you can do it any way you want. This is not your typical swimming stroke instruction. You can do in the water whatever you really want. You don't have to be very rigid in the water and do everything exactly like they tell you, move like this. No. You relax in the water and you can try moving different ways. You can try to move your arms freely and explore and see what happens depending on how you move that arm. You can push yourself back simply by pushing that water that's in front of you and causing the resistance. If you want to move forward, you basically push that water away from you. Therefore, your momentum will push you forward. You can use your right arm to turn left. You can use your left arm to turn left. Same goes for your turning towards right hand side. You can use your left arm and be turning right, or you can use your right arm to be turning right. Use the water freely. Bend your elbows and enjoy the sensation that water gives you when you move that water. See how it changes when you maneuver it. Because I noticed at the beginning, all of us are kind of stiff like a robot. Instead, in the water, the movement should be fluid. You don't even have to practice this when you're floating. You can practice this by walking in the water. You can simply walk and move your arms and push yourself and turn yourself and do whatever you want in the water to get accustomed and comfortable in it. And then once you're ready, try like in the video here that we did with Peter. Spend as much time as you need and as much time as you want doing this. This is a lot of fun. You can have a lot of freedom and enjoyment just by doing this rather than learning a stroke. The reason why we want to do this is because you want to be absolutely comfortable in the water. When you're going to be learning freestyle or breaststroke or backstroke or floating exercises, you need to be comfortable. You cannot be scared of the water. You cannot be scared of the fact that you can't catch the next breath. I want you to be free. I want you to be relaxed. And that's the best way to get relaxed in the water, is to simply be in it often, play, move around, and understand it. That is the reason why we want to do this. Once you're ready, you can give yourself challenges like I gave here to Peter, where I ask him to start with a streamline, then move his arms. After 5 meters, turn around, and then come back to where he started. Because those are the typical scenarios you're going to have to deal with in the real world. When you're in somewhere on your holidays, in a lake or in the sea, you're not going to be going from A to B like you do in a swimming pool, but rather you're going to go out, you'll have to turn around or move away because there's going to be people, you're going to have to watch out for obstacles and be able to adjust depending on where you are and what you're doing. And this is the way to do it. So you can set yourself these kind of challenges and then try them out and see how you do. Hopefully this video gave you enough of an idea of what to do in the swimming pool. If you're going there for the first time, you're preparing to learn to swim, or you're just at the very beginning and you find it very difficult to practice a stroke of your choice. Get comfortable in the water and feel it, enjoy it. If you feel this is too much for you, try watching another video that I made about getting accustomed to the water and breathing. I'm planning to make more videos from the swimming pool like this in the future, so please subscribe to not miss when they go out. In the meantime, I wish you good luck and enjoy your time in the water. See you next time.